Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Is Ripple running away from its problems? Look, I think it's a bogus narrative, but I've seen enough people over the last, week or so, however long people have been talking about, maybe it's more than that, maybe a couple weeks, about just the idea of Ripple moving its headquarters from the United States to some other country, which actually might happen. We'll see. But there have been a number of people I've come across in my Twitter feed talking about, oh my God, they're running from this or that. Does this mean bad things in terms of them thinking what XRP would be labeled as by the Securities and Exchange Commission in the United States? Like all this and that. And to me, it's just like, no, there's no reason to think that. It's just there's not regulatory clarity. And so the first story I'm going to cover comes from the Daily Hodl. It's titled, Ripple General Counsel Says Company Not Fleeing U.S. as Debate on XRP Regulatory Clarity Heats Up. I have a few stories of actually Ripple/XRP related. How about this one from Crypto Newsflash titled, Ripple, and then parentheses they write XRP, fosters adoption by new investment in MoneyTap. Now, to me, this is significant, and it should be to you if you're an XRP holder, because MoneyTap will be utilizing XRP. This is not a question mark. This is a certainty. It has indeed been announced. And then we've got this headline from CryptoComes.com. Unconfirmed, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum may be available in largest Singapore bank DBS. And Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, actually commented on this the other day, which I thought was interesting. So anyway, lots to cover in this video. Before we go any further, though, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you would please ever so delicately tap the like button, I would definitely appreciate the support. And also, if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP, well, gosh darn it, I think you might just be the coolest person on the entire planet. Now, since I gave you that very kind, I'd say abundantly generous compliment, why don't you return the favor by subscribing to the Moon Lambo channel? Don't cost nothing, son. Take my free content, damn it. Into this first piece now, though. Ripple's General Counsel is responding to speculation on the payment startup's potential plans to leave the United States. In a discussion on Twitter, Stuart Alderodi explains why Ripple is examining a move overseas. And so the first word of this potentially happening came from Ripple co-founder Chris Larson, and he made it clear why. He was just talking about regulatory concerns and said, hey, might move abroad. Then Brad Garlinghouse said a number of things on at least a few different occasions, including on Twitter and in interviews on television, stating, hey, he actually acknowledged, we're actually considering moving to Japan. And then there were stories saying, hey, we're actually considering moving to London. So that's where it all started within the last couple weeks or so. And now Stuart jumped in and he said the following. Here's a quote. Let me read. I got the thread open. Let me just read exactly what Jake Chervinsky, a lawyer here, wrote, which is what's led to this whole article in the first place. He wrote the following. I was thinking of writing an update on the Ripple Securities class action. I haven't given it a full treatment in over a year, and the Ripple moving overseas story puts it in a new light. But that means XRP Army blowing up my mentions for days. Does anyone still care about this? Well, I mean, people that are in the XRP community would certainly be interested in it. And look, as long as you can be critical, as long as it's constructive. Because look, anyone in the XRP community, if they're not willing to tolerate constructive criticism or a constructive, thoughtful conversation on topics pertaining to Ripple and XRP that sound negative, if you're not going to tolerate that, I mean, you need to rethink the way that you're approaching the world. It needs to be okay for what you believe about Ripple and XRP to be challenged, even for yourself, because what if somebody knows something that you actually don't know and you're invested in XRP and it would change the way you feel? Do you want to know that? So it's got to be okay. Now, the people that are trolls, this or that, yeah, throw them out, fine. Run over them with a bus, whatever. Not literally. Those people, I don't really want to engage with them. As soon as somebody gets trolly, I'm not interested. But if it's just a thoughtful, critical thinking back and forth, and a couple people with different ideas, like that really should be allowed. So Stuart Alderodi, and this is his official Twitter account right here. Again, he's General Counsel at Ripple with over 30 years of legal experience with expertise in banking, regulatory affairs, and complex litigation. So I'd say that he's the right man to respond to this. And here's what he wrote. Jake, no one is fleeing. We're a proud United States company, but we don't have a cohesive regulatory framework here. That keeps market participants guessing. Regulation consistently applied should yield predictable results. Too many smart lawyers like you are left reading tea leaves. Yeah, no kidding. It's like, in what world does it make sense to think that Ripple doesn't deserve to be taken at face value when it is abundantly clear that the United States does not have regulatory clarity around the crypto asset class in XRP? Why? Some of the speculation just gets ridiculous. But anyway, Jake responded and wrote, "Thanks for your reply. I hope you know I mean no offense, but there's no cohesive regulatory framework anywhere, nor should we expect one for novel tech in its early stages. We can and should work to advance good policy here at home, unless you plan to stop serving United States customers too." That's flat out wrong. I say that respectfully here. And he does seem to be like, he's being an adult about this. He just has opinions that I happen to disagree with. But again, I love diversity thought. This is cool stuff in my book, all right? But I think he's wrong. I do think he's wrong. As far as there being no cohesive regulatory framework, it depends on how you want to define that. What my argument is that there's more certainty from a regulatory perspective in many other places on this planet. That is undeniably true. And so if Jake would disagree with that, I'd just be like, why? And prove it. Because let me give you a couple examples. There was a legislation that passed, I can't remember what it was titled, in 2017, which Brad Garlinghouse cited, which made the uncertainty around XRP's classification a non-issue at that point. It's 2017. It's 3 years later here. And so that's one of the reasons that he cited when he was speaking on television. I think it was Bloomberg, I could be wrong, but he was on TV somewhere, and he cited that. Then additionally, the CEO, what's his name? I could be wrong. I think his name's Dan Vogel. Apologize if I'm wrong. I think that's his name. The CEO of Bitso, which is a cryptocurrency exchange in Mexico, officially partnered with Ripple. They're an on-demand liquidity partner, with on-demand liquidity, of course, utilizing XRP as a bridge currency. He cited on a recent Blockstars podcast that they now have, very recently, regulatory certainty surrounding XRP. And it was a very recent development. So those are two right there. And then you have the UK's FCA Financial Conduct Authority, which has declared that there is utility around XRP specifically. You don't have any of that in the United States. So when you say there's no cohesive regulatory framework, if you just mean that around the world we could use additionally cohesive framework for crypto in every single country, okay, fine, make that argument. That's not what's being stated here, and you have to know that. You have to know that. That's not what we're talking about, right? So there's always room for betterment. I'm just saying it's clear to me that the United States is lagging behind, and I think that the execs at Ripple have sufficiently articulated that case. That's my humble opinion here. All right, into the next piece now. Ripple fosters adoption by new investment in MoneyTap. Ripple and SBI Holdings are long-standing partners who have already founded a joint venture called SBI Ripple Asia in 2016. A few hours ago, it was announced in a press release that Ripple is again investing in MoneyTap, a subsidiary of SBI Holdings. The cooperation is best known for providing the MoneyTap app, which uses Ripple's blockchain technology to process cross-border payments quickly and cost-effectively. And initially when MoneyTap was launched, there was no word that it would utilize XRP, and it was just being used domestically in Japan. And so I thought, okay, well, if that's all it's supposed to be, there's no need for XRP, because you don't need to plug XRP in the middle of transactions when you're converting from you're not even converting, you're just moving from one account to another, and it's in the same currency, the same fiat currency, because XRP is being positioned as a bridge. So if you're not converting from one to the other, effectively, what are you doing? You just add friction if you throw it in there for no reason whatsoever. And so I thought, okay, well, if that's all it's going to be, then there's no need. But then they said that XRP will be used, which makes it clear that they have greater ambitions for the MoneyTap app. Global ambitions, no doubt, because you're talking about utilizing XRP, again, as a bridge currency. So that is cool to me, because as corridors get built out, you know that market makers are going to have to hold XRP. You know what that does to supply and demand. I don't need, you guys are smart out there. You don't need me to say that. Anyway, by using MoneyTap, it is possible to execute and confirm payments almost in real time by simply scanning a QR code. The app was already introduced in October 2018 and is financially supported by Japan's leading banking consortium, SBI Holdings. The big long-term goal is to convince all 61 banks of the consortium to use the app for their customers. Most recently, Japan's second-largest bank, Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation, or SMBC for short, with assets under management of 2,036 trillion, also invested in the app. The additional provision of new financial resources is intended to decisively advance the development and adaptation. So they're going full steam ahead with this. And again, anything that's going to, utilize XRP, hey, take a whack at it. In this case, it seems like an obvious use case because you're just talking about using XRP for its most well-known use case as a bridge currency. Sounds good to me. Here's a piece from Crypto Comes. Unconfirmed, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum may be available in largest Singapore bank, DBS. DBS, a top-level Singapore banking ecosystem for corporate and investment clients, is said to offer crypto to fiat exchange. The crypto behemoths are allegedly available against the world's most recognized fiat currencies. A prominent investor, Su Zhu, whose name I'm undoubtedly accidentally butchering, CEO and CIO of Three Arrows Capital investment firm, reported that today, October 27th, so it was the other day, the flagship commercial and retail banking entity in Singapore, DBS, is offering cryptocurrency exchange services, and there's a tweet on the screen. Now, according to an investment shared on Twitter by Mr. Zhu, 4 massively adopted digital currencies are available on the DBS digital exchange: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and, drumroll, XRP. They are listed in trading pairs with the Singapore dollar, and then it goes on to say a little bit more. That's kind of the gist of it, that we'll wrap up the article there anyway. So additional adoption there as well. Now, here's a tweet from Brad Garlinghouse just the other day. He wrote, UK's Financial Conduct Authority and Singapore's MAS have been leaders for years in providing clarity on using/trading assets. No surprise that both countries have traditional financial institutions leaning into using this technology. DBS's pre-announcement today is a prime example. And so there you go. And so to circle back to what Jake said about there not being a cohesive regulatory framework, define what you mean by cohesive. But if you would use, in terms of regulatory concerns, the way that they have been sufficiently articulated by Ripple executives, if you just go by the way they're clearly defining it, what you're bringing up here, Jake, I respectfully say does not make sense, to my humble opinion. But that is it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.